I'm really not sure what to say anymore about all this hate stalking that I keep literally getting slammed in the face by on a regular basis. It's kind of unreal because every time I get on a train to go to another state, I have the right to expect that I will be left alone and not followed around and harassed. And yet, the same psychopath and hate stalking sex offender reject who has been following me around on trains, whether it be the orange line on the MBTA or the red line or on Amtrak trains to other states, is once again showing signs of being on the same train that I happen to be on right now. We're actually not in Massachusetts anymore. So this piece of shit, this hate stalking reject, is now committing a federal crime by stalking across state lines. And what she likes to do to let me know that she's in the vicinity is repeatedly use a directed energy device to electronically harass me wherever I happen to be, whether it's on a train that is an Amtrak train or an Orange Line train, on the Boston MBTA. Sometimes it even happens. So sometimes it even happens in airports. And I started noticing that 2 years ago when I was at Boston Logan Airport and was sitting at a terminal waiting for my flight. And I immediately started getting, almost as soon as I arrived at the gate, I started getting electronically assaulted with what can only be a directed energy weapon. And after many years of getting electronically harassed with a directed energy weapon, you know exactly what it feels like as soon as it starts to happen. So right now we're in Rhode Island, and Irizarry, the admitted paid BLM hate stalker, wants me to know that she's on this train. I made a video approximately an hour ago when I was sitting at Back Bay Station waiting for the train. That, once again, Irizarry likes to show up at Back Bay as I'm on my way to the Amtrak platform, and then she uses the same exact set of harassment techniques that she has been doing for years to let me know that she is in the immediate vicinity and knows exactly where I am and is likely to show up wherever I happen to go. So there's two kinds of stalkers. There's the kind that don't want to hurt you. They just want to have something to do with you for some reason. Maybe they're just emotionally needy and they you were friends with them at one point, you stopped talking to them and they feel bad. I mean, that kind of thing. But then there's the other kind, which is a malignant.
If you just joined us here in Kingston, welcome aboard Amtrak Regional Train number 175 en route to Washington, D.C. Business class is in the front of today's train and is assigned seating. Directly behind business class is the...
Yeah, so the second kind of stalker is the criminally malignant kind, where they are severely disturbed. They want to rattle your cage, scare you, let you know that they are within the area, wherever you happen to go. They're usually psychopaths and or sex offenders and or both. Often they have borderline personality disorder. That's one of the key diagnoses for people who hate stalk, are people with borderline personality disorder, because they can't take no for an answer and they become really nasty, destructive, aggressive, and vindictive when you don't want to be their friend. And Jasmine Irizarry verifiably has a history of trying to shove herself at me over the 11 years that she has lived and been sponsored by the Greenville Group in the building where I live. And I've never had any interest in having anything to do with the psychopath. I also had knowledge of the fact that she was a psychiatric inmate at the Shattuck Hospital back in 2006 when I was doing a clinical rotation at the Shattuck Hospital as part of my PhD program training. And I had knowledge that Irizarry was a psychopath even back then. So when she showed up in my building 2 years after I had moved in, I wanted to have nothing to do with her. She's a mentally disturbed, homicidal psychopath who smears her body fluids all over other people's clean sheets, towels, clothing, food, personal items, etc. She's a complete psycho. And then she becomes vindictive when you don't want to be her friend. She's also claiming that she's a BLM activist who's being sponsored by the Greenville Group to engage in the same exact psychotic pattern of stalking and harassment that she has been doing for years and demonstrating for years. Irizarry has admitted to using a directed energy device and got defensive when I referred to it as a directed energy device, telling me I should call it a directed energy weapon. She and her friend Christopher Thomas were correcting me on that when I made a video referring to this device as a directed energy device. That's how you know you're dealing with some very disturbed and malignant hate stalkers who are stupidly admitting to doing everything that you keep observing and experiencing that they are doing.